Election Day now just a week from today, and voters across North Texas say they are energized and they are definitely making their way to the polls.
Fox 4 Stephen Dahl with what has already been a very strong early voting turnout and what this all could mean for Election Day itself. Stephen.
There is definitely energy this year because of the presidential race, which is expected to be tight, but also the big spike in early voting turnout in North Texas has also been due to more Republicans showing up early. We are 1 week away from Election Day. Long lines are seen on multiple days for the first week of early voting in Texas. Dallas and Collin counties are nearing 35% turnout with 3 days of early voting left. Denton and Collin counties are nearing 45%. One big change this year, unlike 4 years ago, Donald Trump is telling Republicans to vote early.
In the past, there's been some Republican skepticism about early voting, and Republicans have really preferred to vote on Election Day. But the Trump campaign has made a real point of emphasizing the value of early voting and getting those votes banked. And that's been something that Democrats have been talking about for 20 years now.
Dallas County is a Democrat stronghold, and while more than 400,000 people have already voted, the early voting totals are lagging behind Tarrant County. Biden won Tarrant by a very small margin, and Democrats hope to make even more gains. I asked SMU political scientist Matthew Wilson to interpret the early voting trends.
It's not good news for Democrats. I mean, it doesn't doom them. There's still some time to go. We don't know if some Republicans are not voting for Trump or they're not voting for Cruz, or, I mean, all that's up in the air. But you'd rather have these numbers if you're a Republican than have these numbers if you're a Democrat. It's not a done deal.
Wilson says the strong turnout could mean quick results on election night in some key Texas races.
If you already have 60 to 70% of the vote in the bank, then anybody who has anything of a lead more than 2 or 3 points, you're going to feel pretty good about their chances of hanging on once the Election Day vote is counted, particularly since more Republicans have voted early. You may not see the same kind of partisan imbalance in early voting versus Election Day voting that you've seen in the past. If Election Day voting, therefore, looks more like the patterns in early voting, I think we'll be able to use those early voting numbers to tell us a lot about who's won.
Now, if you are a Dallas County voter and have not voted yet, thinking about voting the rest of this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, those times have been extended to 9 p.m. So polls will be open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Dallas County making that decision, the commissioners making that decision due to some slow starts last week.
All right, Stephen Dahl, appreciate your coverage. Thank you.
Again, early voting runs now through Friday. Election Day is Tuesday, November the 5th. We have an election guide on our website, fox4news.com/election. You can find voting locations, sample ballots, and what you need to bring when you go to vote.